Hey, we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Puck Culture Guy. Today is a spectacular live stream view. Of course, your moderate, Andreas Diaz, aka Puck Culture Guy. And of course, today I'm with Jeff, of course, co-host of MCU Bleeding Edge. Hopefully, Sarah will be us. Can be with us. Hopefully, I think Major can. Hopefully, he arrive. But if not, we'll still entertain. And tonight we have a very pretty cool live stream review on Thunderbolts, the latest and spectacular MCU film, 36th film of this franchise. Of course, it stars Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Louis Pullman, and Dave Harbour and Julie Louis-Dreyfus, of course, fame of silent film, and pretty much the final film of Phase 5. And of course, this is the new Avengers. If you've been sleeping in a rock, this is the new Avengers movie. So this is our first in the new Avengers trilogy. So yes. Anyway, how you doing, sir? Jeff.
I'm just as good as I was before the live started, sir. I'm good.
That's very good. Well, anyway, so we were just discussing what we were going to do for our next live stream, and then Thunderbolts came around, and I was like, oh, yes. And I got to say, Thunderbolts, great film. Just overall appearance, let's get into that. I thought it was a fantastic film. Definitely the better films that we had recently in terms of Phase 4 or 5. For me, it's definitely top tier. I think this is the most well-made MCU film. I mean, it's better than Captain America 4.
What happened, Andres? Why does the live counter say that it just started?
Is it starting now? It's already started.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. On my end, it says 20 seconds.
20 seconds? Oh my god! Don't tell me we're gonna have the prompt. Anyway, hopefully, I mean, it should be fine. I got everything set here.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe something happened on my end. Could be
okay.
On my end.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm fine for the most part, so I don't see anything popping up. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Hopefully it's gonna not be a problem. But anyway,
I just figured I should point that out to you, sir.
No worries. I mean, unfortunately StreamYard doesn't give me any notification or anything like that something's wrong with the live stream. So we're gonna improvise if anything happens. But anyway. So yeah, Thunderbolts was a great film. I thought it was great, fantastic cast. Really love, Elena as a great character. I thought this was a great, follow up to Black Widow. I have to say, so I was very excited to see her and Dave Harbour, aka Red Guardian. I thought they were fantastic. I thought they were like the heart of the film here. The Sentry character. I mean, I heard of him. I never really knew the character. I know he's a major character in the Marvel comic books, in mid 2000s. So I was surprised how they handle the character of Bob / Sentry / Boyd, of course, the main villain of the film. It was great to see John Walker back, aka the U.S. agent. He was fantastic. I thought he was amazing. And yeah, a lot of nitpicks here and there. Obviously, Ghost was completely useless, and I was like, oh wow, they didn't care about her. And I like Ghost. I kind of wish she had more to do, but we'll see. We'll get into more of that in later of the review. Jeff, what you thought about this film when you saw it? Is it your favorite of the bunch of the movies? What you thought about this film? What's your positives and negatives?
Sir, was it my favorite of what bunch of movies? What are you talking about? Which movies, sir? Favorite of what?
Well, look, I don't know what's your favorite movie. Phase 4 or 5.
It's not my favorite MCU movie. You know that.
So yeah, I know that.
We know that. So I mean, it's better than Captain America 4.
Yeah,
if that's what you want. If that's where you're trying to go.
Yeah,
go.
It's
better than Captain America 4. It's a another situation where the MCU is just very inconsistent right now and very, very unbalanced from movie to movie, show to show. Some stuff's good, some stuff's bad, but it all costs a lot of money, That's the thing. Marvel movies aren't cheap, we haven't figured that out yet. The budgets just keep bigger than bigger. Every year they get bigger and bigger. Every year the MCU films, their budgets, you know, it seems like they can't get them down anymore. Every film has got to be $250 million, you know? So it's like, you know, MCU films are not cheap, you know? And I just think it's important to point that out. You know, I don't think that people in mass realize that, you know, that MCU films in general, Marvel films are very expensive.
Yeah.
You know, in general, compared to other films, you know, they're expensive to make. So at that point, they become very, it becomes very like a very like high bar to reach with every film, and you know, and you know, and make it good, make it quality, you know, and they're spending so much money on these films and these shows that when they don't work, it just, you know, it's a hit. It does not help the MCU at all. It's a big, you know, hit to the MCU, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to go way off script with this, but I just wanted to point out that the Thunderbolts was a nice bounce back from Captain America 4. It was a very fun street level MCU film. And it was very much written and designed and structured to be a street level MCU film, and that's what it is. And it's good at that. It's good at being that. You know, it's very. Oh, I have DoorDash, by the way, Andre. So if I have to dip for a minute at some point, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But I'll warn you. The Thunderbolts. I don't know if they still have that 95% Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter rating on it, but if they do, that's a bit too high. You know, I don't think the movie is that good, frankly. It has a lot of good things going for it, and the writing is really good. It looks good. And there's not a lot of mistakes in the film. There's not a lot of stuff that stands out as being mistakes or faults or problems with the plot or the movie. There's not a lot of it. But there are some parts of the film that kind of fall off a little bit. The finale will be one. The end of the film,
okay,
is a little bit stretched. A little hit or miss for me. You know, the direction they went with it.
Yeah.
You know, but overall, it was an enjoyable, watchable MCU film. And for the most part, you know, they did a really good job of getting the best out of the actors and the characters in the film. You know, Yelena was great. You know, Florence Pugh was great. Obviously, she was the main character of the film.
Yep.
You know, which makes sense. And you know, like you said, John Walker was good. I've heard people say that he was better in the Thunderbolts than he was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
He was.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I didn't like the way that they handled Taskmaster. I felt like they could have kept her in the movie longer.
Yeah.
You know, before killing her. But that's actually a small gripe at the end of the day. It's not a big gripe. It's a small gripe. You know, on the film. That's still a great sequence where she dies. That action sequence is really good.
Yeah.
Ghost was a definite addition in the film. She definitely was better in Thunderbolts than she was in Ant-Man 2. So she got better as a character. You know, they made her better.
Yeah.
Bucky felt a little bit weird or like a little off in this film. I didn't really feel like he really fit 100% into the Thunderbolts, you know. But it was still good to see him. It's still Bucky. you know.
Yeah.
And he's been in the MCU for a long time. Sebastian Stan has, so of course it's always good to see him, you know. Um, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character was good. She was okay, you
Yeah.
know, in the movie, you know, versus the TV show. And
Yeah.
lastly, Bill Pullman's, I guess, kid there,
Yeah.
son did a good job. Again, I felt like he fell off a little bit at the end, but for a lot of the movie, he's a really great character, a really really fun new character for the MCU and for the film.
Yeah. No, no, I agree 100%. You say, yeah, I just feel like Winter Soldier kind of feels like we already had kind of like this arc in Falcon the Winter Soldier, like where he had to, he was trying to like redeem himself. So just didn't make sense to like redo that in this movie. So that's why he kind of feels a little off. Like he's like out of the characters, because this movie deals with like their like their sins and their like trauma that they had, their past mistakes. Bucky's already kind of went through that arc that they're going through this first film, and yeah, I agree with you. Completely. I thought Ghost was better here than her first appearance in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought Valentina was better than her any appearance we had here. I mean, this was so much better than Wakanda Forever. And you brought up the rating. It just the Rotten Tomatoes did went down a little bit. It's in a good way. Like it's 88% right now in Rotten Tomatoes. That's for the critics. I don't know for audience that could be a little higher, but yeah, I agree. You, it's not a perfect movie. I thought it was a well written movie. It was fun. It was much more focused than some of the other MCU films we have, like the Marvels or like Ant-Man 3. So, but yeah, I don't like, in terms of quality, it's definitely better than a lot of the junk we had for Phase 4 and 5. So that's here and there. So let's get into the recap and all that and go through this movie piece by piece. So we open in the film where Elena is doing her mission. She's destroying a laboratory on behalf of CI director Valentia to conceal her involvement with the Oz groups, aka the Century Superhuman Project. As as we kind of cut back and forth here, Valentina is like facing like impeachment for her work with the Oz group she worked before she joined the CIA, and so she desperately dispatched Elena to do something for her to like destroy some evidence. And here we get the before that, we see Elena meeting up with, Red Guardian. Very funny. He's doing the limo service, which is so hilarious. If you have seen the marketing, it's pretty fun. It's great to see Dave Hopper here. I thought he really is the best part about this movie. His humor and the dramatic stuff. He's really good at with Elena. So after she leaves, she gets a call from Valentia. Here, she goes over to like the Ox facility where she encounters John Walker, Ava Starr, and Taskmaster to like a covert acts facility under the pretense of killing thieves. Pretty much killing each other. And in the ensuing confrontation, Ghost kills Taskmaster, as you say, very quickly. By the way, when I saw this, I was like, "Wow, we kill her just right there." I mean, great fight scene here. I love each of the characters fighting each other. Like it was really cool to see how Taskmaster was mimicking, the characters' fight moves. If you know who Taskmaster is, and then it was great to see Ghost doing her ghost abilities. Facing through, them, which was really nice. But I was shocked that out of all the people, Ghost kills her. I was like, wow, and and we'll get into the scene, but it was very funny that they were just, like taking a couple things from Taskmaster's dead body, which is hilarious. But then while they're fighting each other, you got a mystery man named Bob, who is released from a spandam animation pump in the room after they realized they were sent by Valentina to be incinerated, along with any evidence of her misconduct. So they managed to work together and they were able to escape from the trap. So let me stop there. We thought at the beginning of this movie. I thought the beginning was really strong, very good. It got to the point where we're gonna get for this movie, so it was really nice. We thought about this part.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of nothing super exciting about the opening of the Thunderbolts. It's the movie
Yeah,
kind of just the pacing of it is one where things just kind of happen, but it's not like super tension building or fast paced at all. It's not that kind of film. You know, they they do a good job of getting right to the the action and getting right to pairing the characters together.
yeah,
There isn't too much setup, or dialogue, driven, scenery. You know what I'm saying? There's a bit of it, but not too much of it. Establishing, our initial, you know, point of the film, where we bring the team together, right? We get the Thunderbolts. Obviously that's the strength of the film. You know what I'm saying? Is the team aspect of it. Um, So I mean, yeah, the 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 opening of the film with Yellow Belova jumping off of the building
yeah,
is pretty dark, and pretty mature, for a Marvel film. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But then after that, it kind of, it's on and off with that same level of maturity. You know what I'm saying? Of darkness. It's on and off, kind of. You get Taskmaster getting shot in the head. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty like TVMA right there. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
yeah.
it's pretty graphic. I mean, they show her getting shot in the head, and dying. And like honestly, you don't see all that stuff like that happen a lot in Marvel films.
No,
You don't see a lot of headshots and stuff like that. That's not a fixture of Marvel. So that's pretty graphic. It happens, but it happens quick. You know what I'm saying? You're right. It was cool that it was Ghost that killed Taskmaster. She did it like very nonchalant. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But it was odd her dying like that in the movie. Like, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I know it was so like she's the most trained like assassin, right? Like how the hell you missed that? Like I don't know. It was so weird. She died so quickly.
She's supposed to be Taskmaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
I
uh,
don't know.
Taskmaster in the comics, like, is like a survivor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't die. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know.
he's around forever. You know what I mean? Like, like you can't kill Taskmaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't just die from a gunshot in a fight. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
Taskmaster it doesn't work that way. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I know. Like if they were like of course we'll get into it like the new Avengers thing. If this
and they even showed her talking and everything. Like, obviously she got better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I totally forgot. Yeah, she did say something to what would she say to Alana? You're not part of this. You're
you're
not
not my target or something
you're
like
not my
that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So, no, you good point, good point. Yeah, I totally forgot she did say something because it was so quick, right? Like it was like, oh yeah, she did speak because she didn't talk at all in what Black
No,
Widow.
she clearly like regained her ability to speak and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, Taskmaster is a really cool character in the comic books, but we discussed this like a year ago when
I love Taskmaster. I love Taskmaster. I
yeah,
was very disappointed by
yeah,
the Black Widow Taskmaster decision. When
yeah,
that happened, you know what I'm saying? I was like, come on, man.
I know,
Like why you gotta like do that with like a great character like that? You know what I'm saying?
I know. It was so bad, and they kind of knew that, so they just thought, okay, let's kill off this version so that we can bring maybe.
Now you killed off the character already. The character's gone from the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't
Well,
bring Taskmaster back. Like it's gone. He's gone. She's gone. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
So like,
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you, but here's the thing: they can bring another version. Let's like kind of be honest here. Like they can actually bring in the comic book accurate Taskmaster entity masters.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
they could like
yeah, they could.
when they redo and reinvent the MCU or whatever,
Yeah,
then they could do it then. They could bring
yeah,
in what's his name, Tony Curtis, whoever his name is,
Tony
whatever
Masters.
that guy's name is, Tony Masters, bring him in as the actual Taskmaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
they could do that.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna do another Thunderbolts, like the actual Thunderbolts, I think you can do that. Bring a new version of Taskmaster. So, but yeah,
well, I'm just saying, I don't want to make it a big deal, but I feel like it's fucked up. Like they teased us a little bit, as fans, like rolling out the Thunderbolts as like, a team, with her on it. You know what I'm saying? And then
I
they
know,
just kill him. You know,
I
and
know,
we knew it was gonna happen too, which is really fucked up because of the
I know.
trailers. You know what I'm saying? We knew she was gonna die. You know?
Yeah, it was kind of obvious. I mean, like in the trailers, they were trying, like they even tried to hide it. That's the thing that was so like
No,
obvious.
they removed her from
Yeah,
like
they moved.
all from all the scenes later on in the film from the beginning. You could tell.
Yeah, I have the trailers that we react, and you can tell like from the first trailer she was there in the watchtower, but in reality she wasn't. They just added her there, and then like the other trailers they didn't care. Like it was like yeah, she pretty much died after that.
The trailers are so clear, like there's such a clear gateway to the films these days. With the MCU,
Yeah,
that you could tell by the second trailer of the Thunderbolts that first scene, that first fighting scene from the first trailer was like the beginning of the film. You know,
yeah,
it only made sense for that shit to happen in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
So you knew Taskmaster was gone. She was dead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you brought up her killing. Like if they had like the Abomination, like imagine the Abomination actually killed Taskmaster. That could have been a cool way, like ripping her apart. That could have been a nice kill. So
Why
I
would the
mean, like,
Abomination kill Taskmaster?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, because I know the Abomination is in the Thunderbolts. I just because you brought up how she got killed, right?
I didn't know that. I'm not super knowledgeable with the Thunderbolts. The comics that where the Thunderbolts came out, I did not read. You know what I'm saying? Like I was not
Yeah,
there for that. So like I don't really know about all the different teams of the Thunderbolts.
yeah. I took some digging, and honestly, just like briefly, what everyone wants to know, like what was the Thunderbolts? It was basically like a Suicide Squad version, but differently.
No,
Like
I know they are. I get the
yeah,
gist of the Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I don't know the rosters of all the different teams, and I know there were multiple versions of the Thunderbolts.
yeah. I'm looking down like the list
Like
here.
there were several. There's several different versions of the Thunderbolts with different leaders and stuff like that. So like
Yeah. I don't know. Like famously the thumb. If you read, was it like Dark Adventures, where Norman Osborn was like the new director of Shield. He used the Thunderbolts as like the new Avengers, and if you read that run, that was like right after the Marvel Civil War event they did back in 2006. In that team up, you remember that like Bullseye was in it, Swordsman, Venom, Moonstone, and like Ray Afterman were in that group. And then I'm just looking where like Abomination came in. Maybe I'm maybe just making that shit up, but yeah.
I've never heard of the Abomination being out of the Thunderbolts.
No, I'm trying to think what other. Maybe I'm thinking about the other. Maybe the Master.
The Red Hulk led the Thunderbolts at one point, but that's it.
Yeah, maybe that I'm getting confused here. Yeah, maybe Red Hulk. Yeah, and that's another thing that's weird about this movie. It's like the Thunderbolts names. Like we're not even connecting.
I think it comes from Thunderbolt Ross, doesn't it? Originally.
Yeah, initially, yeah. It's like around. Yeah, it's like after it. Yeah, like the new team, like Thunderbolt Ross created after. I'm just looking at the timeline here. Like yeah, like after Civil War, after like the Norman Osborn storyline, like where he recruits Deadpool, Elektra, Agent Venom, aka Flash Thompson, Punisher, in the part of the Marvel Now, run. So yeah, that's when Red Hulk became the part of the Thunderbolts. But anyway, so that's where it comes from. And currently right now there's like a Winter Soldier Thunderbolts, where like half of it's from like the movie or someone like their Winter Soldier has what's his name, Al- Alice, and then Fixer, and then Mac X, and then some other weird creature, and then of course Elena is in part of this group. Anyway, so let's get back to the recap here. Yeah,
Well, no, I was going to say that I do like the introduction of Bob into the
yes,
movie.
yeah,
It's like comically done, you know. It's like funny and like, you know, like interesting kind of the way it's done, you know. His insertion into the film, and he's like a really subtle character at first, you know.
yeah,
But still like, you know, watchable, you know what I mean, and like entertaining, you know. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you know, and fits in well with the other characters, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
yeah,
I felt like, you know, like connects well with the rest of the team. You know, which I think is important for him, you know, as a member of the team of the Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what he is, you know. So yeah, I mean, he's a great fun character to see, like right off the bat, you know, like knowing that he's eventually going to be Sentry, you know.
yeah.
You're just kind of waiting for him to like do something, you know.
It's not the
And that actor, he
Lewis,
just
yeah, Pullman.
Louis Pullman, he just does enough with the role, with the character, to make it to where even in the opening, in the beginning, you know, scenes, you know, that we're talking about, he still has an impact, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, hats off to him. I mean, it's all everybody on their own, everybody individually, they're all good in the beginning of the movie. And when they have their first major, you know, action scene, you know, I loved seeing them climb out of that room, that underground room or whatever,
Yeah,
you know, that
tunnel.
shack,
Yeah,
where they use their legs together to climb up.
yeah,
That was interesting.
yeah. It's so funny. Like, yeah, because what was like U.S. Agent is like the tallest of them, and like Elena is the shortest. And I mean, and then of course the funny bit where like was it Bob is saying that if I sneeze, I'm gonna blow up or something like that. It's been my eyes, you know. And then they're like, it's a cucumber, like to like make him stop sneezing, and then
No, he's like, I'll fall down. Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
probably,
Like, you know.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah. I saw Pullman in Top Gun Maverick. He was really funny there. That's where like Glenn Powell was there. You know, like a lot of the major actors we're seeing right now. Like that's where the kid who played the Falcon, the new one, came from. In Top Maverick. It's also in Last of Us season 2. I know, and he, I thought he was great as Bob. I think this is the best villains. The best. I know it's kind of weird. He's like the best character / villain we had in the MCU. I really love the Void, and I kind of get what you're saying about the third act. Maybe they could have done something more. But I kind of like how the character the Void is handled here and Sentry, which we'll get into later in the film. But yeah, everything about him is just fun. I love his part with Elena. Like that's very important because I think I love the pairing between him and Elena because both of these people are like damaged, you know, folks. They have like the dark past, and I kind of like that pairing. And I thought that was the highlight of the film was Elena connecting to Bob and his situation of, you know, the mental health and, you know, issues that he had, and you know, eventually the Void taking over his mind and, you know, the whole body, stuff like that. So kudos for them to do that, which is good. Anything else to say about Bob? I like the costume. I gotta say, they did a good job with the Sentry costume.
No, sir. Actually, in just a minute, I'm about to dip out for a second and get my food.
Awesome. Well,
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay, let me put a trailer, and you know, when you get back here. So everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me show you the trailer of Thunderbolts, the third and final trailer that I just picked up here. But here we go.
Elena, being a hero, there is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale.
I was in high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
But you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it.
I am a void. Look what you unleashed. You can't outrun the emptiness.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
We all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
We can't stop him alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
There's some big threat out there, and you are gonna help me stop it.
Wait, us?
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
So none of us comply? So what, we all just punch and shoot?
I can't think of a worse group of people trying to work together.
Everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past. Hey, it's like your mind is somewhere else.
So you can do something about it now, or live with it forever.
This could get messy.
No shit. You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
Okay, that was really good.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
This has makings of team that can rise to glory. Bring light from the darkness. This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box with a little giddy toy.
Alexei, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
Okay, we're back, folks. Hope you enjoyed the trailers of the Thunderbolts. Great trailers, by the way.
Yeah, you really feel the impact of your guest when they're gone, don't you? It's not fun to do a live stream by yourself.
Hey, well, hey, at least I know how to like import the trailers now. That was like if I had to talk. It's like, okay, how you guys doing?
You've known how to do that for a long time, Andres.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not worried about you guys dipping a little bit because at least I can have trailers to set up here. Plus, I got other trailers that I can show you guys to entertain you guys. And they're under a minute, right? I understand the rules of live streaming. Anyway, let's get back to it. But thank you, sir. I mean, yeah, it's awkward, but at the same time, like if I have something like a trailer up, I'm ready. So I'm always prepared. Whenever you have to like dip or get some food, whatever, you know. What? By the way, just off topic, what kind of food you got, sir?
Oh
Just
well, you
ask.
know what? They something happened. They messed up my order. They gave me a bunch of extra shit, so I got like extra drinks and like
Ooh.
I got like a Wendy's ice cream flurry deal here.
OMG, I'm so jealous of you.
I haven't had an ice cream. I haven't had an ice cream from Wendy's in a long time.
Oh really? Oh god, they're good actually. They're pretty good actually. They have the best ice creams ever in town. I'm trying for. They do, yeah, they do a frosty. Recently they have like now different flavors like
That's what this
Oreo.
is. I think this is supposed to be a frosty.
Okay, it looks like a chocolate one. I really like the cookies and creams. They're good. So that's awesome. That's cool. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, you know.
yeah. And you say you did this.
I didn't order that. They just gave that to me.
They just gave it to you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. That's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, where are we at with the Thunderbolts?
Okay, let's get back to it. Yeah. So after they escape the trap, right? Valentina learns to survive, and so, including Bob, where she is kind of surprised. She thought that every subject that were experimented, like, unfortunately died during the Century Project. And she thought Bob, who presumed died during the Century Trials, is alive. And so she gathers her people, army, whatever, when she arrives at the site so that she can, like, maybe retrieve Bob and whatnot. Excuse me. So, and this part is really great. Like, seeing the team try to escape, them not try to, trusting each other is, like, really cool because they're not there yet to be, like, a team. So, like, I like they're still, like, dysfunctional and still distrust each other. So after they kind of, at least escape, Bob creates a diversion by drawing the enemy fire, allowing Elena, Walker, and Abe to escape, only to sustain no injuries. Really cool. Almost like Superman, despite being shot. And Bob then uncontrollably ascends into the air before passing out and, like, crashing land back to the compound. Really great scene. And speaking of the Sentry powers, if you don't pay attention, like, obviously during this, like, escape from the facility that they were in, you saw briefly, like, Bob's eyes were glowing, and that showed that, like, his powers slash, like, his personality of the void was, like, coming out. And obviously, because Walker and Elena touch him, and, like, they had, like, their like, dark rooms of, like, their past, coming into the void. And so in this moment when he flies, you saw his eyes kind of glow briefly before he ascends up to the air. So his powers and like, his dark side is, like, manifesting very slowly into Bob's mind and body. Then after that, he gets captured and transported to the former Avengers Tower in Manhattan, now renamed the Watchtower, as Valentina attempts to introduce Bob to the press as the new super powered protector and king to the Avengers, and hoping that the PR stunt will avert her impeachment. So finally, we got the question of, like, who bought the Avengers Tower. A lot of these last two phases, people thought so many crazy ideas and theories about the Avengers Tower, who bought them. Initially, I think people thought maybe Fantastic Four will get it, or before this, a lot of people thought maybe Kingpin will take it over because of, Born Again. So many ideas, so many theories and all that. And here, it's the Watchtower, and this is very true from the comic books. If you don't know the Century, like, comics, or his appearance in Marvel. So when he first appeared, the writers did this really cool, like, retcon of the Marvel history that, like, Century was part of the Marvel universe since the 60s, and the Avengers Tower was his tower, his, like, headquarters before it turned into the Avengers Tower in the comic books, and that was his Watchtower before. I think Doctor Strange or someone in the comic books kind of like everyone for like was like the memories got wiped, just like Spider-Man No Way Home. So no one knew Sentry, and like the Watchtower became this new thing where the Avengers took over it, and now it's Avenger Tower. So that's how it goes in the comics. And this one is more flipped, where initially it was now the Avengers Tower, and now
that sounds kind of stupid. I don't know why they did that.
I know it's weird. I look. I don't care about it.
Why couldn't he just be a original real time character that just came into the MCU fresh? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, that's in the comic books. Here, they did it differently here. So,
well, no, I'm saying in the comics. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. No, I understand.
I don't get all that.
I know it's so weird. It's comic books, man. They like retconning things. It's like, oh, this happened. Guess what? It's not how it was perceived. So, I don't know. I haven't read it. Look, I'm not a Sentry guy. That's what happened. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm happy that Thunderbolts didn't go to that route. That could have been even more awful. Like,
something tells me that his powers probably are funner to see and like watch or whatever in the comics than they are on TV, like in the movie. Honestly,
yeah.
Like like there's something about the way that they make comics. Like when it comes to like characters that have powers in comics, they're fun. They look great.
Yeah.
They do it. And sometimes the films don't match up to that,
Yeah, I mean, you and I seen like I don't know how many superhero movies you've seen. I gotta say, this is pretty cool. How they adapted Sentry. They actually did a good job of adapting him. Like they got his powers right, his costumes right. They got rid of like the stupid like oh, he was there. Like you were saying, you don't like this the whole like he was there before, like
that whole concept just seems a little bit weird to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see why they have to. I don't know why it would be that necessary to go that far.
Yeah.
Just for the Sentry. You know what I'm saying? I don't know though. Again, I wasn't like an active participant in the in Marvel Comics at that time. To where I would understand. How big of a character he was supposed to be, like whatever. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know,
Yeah. Same here. Like he was a new character. That's the thing that's weird. Like he was made in 2000, and he was like the creators wanted Marvel to have their own Superman.
Yeah, and he didn't stick though, like hardcore, like all the way. Like he's still there, but like he never became like a main character in Marvel Comics,
No.
He never became a feature character,
No. He's kind of there, like he always pops up in the crossovers or the stories. What is it? I think I knew him from I don't know if you read the World War Hulk storyline. That was where I knew him from because he was like the most powerful. He was able to beat the Hulk. That's where I knew him from.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go too far into the movie since we're breaking it down from start to finish or whatever. But the stuff with the Void is interesting. Like they could do.
Yeah.
I like to see more of that. Like more of the Void being explained and all that. And like having more stuff in the Void. That was one thing I about the ending was that I felt like they could have done more with the Void than they did. How they ended up doing the Void was a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about if we're talking about the second part of the film, after the introduction, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Let me finish it up. Yeah, let me finish it up because it's very quick. So after this, we see kind of understand.
Andres, do you remember Sonya Falsworth?
Who's that? Who's
Sonya Falsworth?
No, I don't.
From Secret Invasion.
Oh my God, no! Is that the one with Olivia Colman?
Olivia Colman, the actress, that
yes.
character she played. Remember that awesome character she played? That UK, what was it? What is it called? M5 or whatever?
M5 or 6?
Yeah,
I don't know.
M6, whatever it's called. Like agent or whatever. Like she was.
Yeah. So, what about her? Wait, is she connected to the Sentry? That I think.
No, but I mean, but she was just a great character in Secret Invasion.
Oh, damn it, dude! Why you want to bring?
There were good things that happened in Secret Invasion.
No, that's true, and she was the best thing about that show. I did like her putting an eye patch on the owl and saying hello to the scrolls. Oh, hello, scroll. Yes.
I hope she comes back.
Yeah, I actually kind of surprised she wasn't in Thunderbolts, right? Like this was a perfect movie to like put her.
It would have been a great spot to put her in.
Yeah, or I don't know how they should put her in. Like
honestly, you could insert her into pretty much any Marvel movie, any MCU film, and she'd be a good fit.
Yeah, Captain America 4. I'm surprised they didn't put her there. I mean.
Oh yeah, Captain America 4 would have been better with her in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I now think about it, I definitely want her to come back because I mean there were a few characters I liked, but there were
they could have swapped out that Israeli Mossad character or whatever, and just removed her from the film and got Olivia Colman in there.
Olivia Colman, yeah, no, that made more sense. Yeah, I don't know why we did it. Like, yeah,
because that was like a global political, military kind of movie anyway. You know what I'm saying? Captain America 4 was, so it would have made sense to have her there.
Yeah, and then here, like, I think she could have been a good asset to the Thunderbolts. Like, that's where Leia probably get her technology or weapons, whatever, from.
You don't want to have too many characters on screen at the same time that are too much the same. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character and
her sister.
Sonya Falsworth's character would be too much like each other.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree.
Too dark haired, later mid to later age, actresses. You know what I'm saying? That are in like the espionage, legal community or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just too much in common.
No, I agree. I mean, and then there's another thing. Like, we had to like address the whole like who's the Emily Clark character, the daughter for Talos? Yeah, like I don't know. Like,
oh, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either. But like they had to address that because she joined Olivia Colman's character towards the end of that show.
She was an okay character. I like that actress. Amelia Clark. That was a big get for Marvel to get her on Secret Invasion. You know what I'm saying? They wasted her.
Yeah, that's my problem with the Secret Invasion. They wasted so many great characters that I like. I mean, Talos was wasted. They ruined her character. Like had potential.
I know. Talos is so good that he was carrying the show for like the first couple episodes.
I know. He was
like Sonya Falsworth. They were carrying the show.
Yeah, and then what was it? Episode 4. Yeah. Episode 4, they kill him off, and that was very, very bad. I was like, "Yep, I hate the show."
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to our finale of the Secret
3
Invasion.
hours.
We went for 4 hours or whatever.
4 hours.
I gotta know what we talked about for 4 hours. Like, I was moderating. Simon wasn't there, so like, I think he was sick or like busy that night or whatever. So I was moderating.
No, Simon was there. I think he was just there for 2 hours. Really?
Yeah, now, was there. I don't think he was there. We have to check.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna check now. But anyway, let me pull up your channel and then when we do our trailer reactions, I'll double check. But anyway, let's get back to it. Now you made me want to rewatch that now. So while the heroes are walking to the,
I just want to know what the hell we were talking about for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that finale was terrible.
I think we were just lashing out at anger of the show. Right?
I think we were talking about the whole series, like the whole season.
Yeah, the whole series. Yeah.
Because we reviewed it together as one group, me, you, and John, and Kendra.
Yeah, very fun finale. It was a very bad series, but it was really fun to talk about it after 6 episodes. Where am I at right now? Oh yeah. So our heroes are walking in the desert, right? And then meanwhile, Alexei, aka Red Guardian, who had overheard the details of Valentina's plot while he was working as a freelance chauffeur, which is funny, and rescues Alea, Walker, and Ava. And then Alexei refers to the group as Thunderbolts because it's a reference to the soccer team that Alea played on in her childhood during the 90s timeline. So that was really fun. And let me get into this now, so we get to Bucky. After that, Devante agents pursued the Thunderbolts. Very good. Actually, this is gotta say great chasing, because this is probably the really great Marvel action scene, because we got Bucky here. Before they were ultimately apprehended by Bucky Barnes, he stops the Valentina agents. He does the Terminator 2 this really cool movement that what Terminator did in Terminator 2, the switching the gun, reloading it in such a cool way. And then he does his with the soldier machine he brought back, where he how he took down Nick Fury for his car. All that was really spectacular. I thought this was a great action scene for Bucky, a really cool character who's running Constantman. That's another big thing I had to kind of have to address. That it does pay off the Captain America 4, where he talks to Sam about he's running Congress as a congressman, and so he's helping the other side to find some evidence to impeach Valentina. So he captures the Thunderbolts to attempt to have them to testify the impeachment proceedings. So besides that, upon learning that Bob was the subject of one of the Fonte's top secret experiments, Barnes joins the group to head to New York to infiltrate the Watchtower. So let me stop there before we get into the big Watchtower stuff. What do you thought about Bucky capturing the Thunderbolts? What do you thought about Red Guardian joining the Thunderbolts and them becoming a team? And what do you thought about the action scene of the Bucky stopping the agents? I thought it was pretty cool, I can say.
The breakout from that facility that they got Valentina got them stuck in, that tried to trap them in and kill them, that whole part of the film, before they meet Bucky, where they're kind of in the desert and they're together, the three of them, Ghost and John Walker and Elda, is fun. That's where the heart of the good chemistry is, with this cast and the film and the Thunderbolts in general. The heart of it is those three, I think, kind of, in the film kind of they build that rapport, kind of and the comedy is there, the humor is there, and the dialogue, you know what I'm saying? It's very real time, very good, 2025 humor, that hits, and what's his name, that Wyatt Russell, another great son of an actor, does a great job, I think, with the humor, providing a humor, element, like a wisecracking element, to the team, you know what I mean? So that was good to see from him, that they kind of did that with him. Because Ghost is very flat as a character,
Yeah.
She's not very, very ranged. She doesn't have a lot of range as a character, she's either upset, or sad, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it, or she's doing action, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Other than that, she's upset or she's sad, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shit's always bad with Ghost, So but she's good in the film. She's solid in those, in the scenes I'm talking about. So I enjoyed that part, when they separate Bob from the rest of the team, which is kind of sad when that happens. You know what I'm saying? You feel bad in the audience watching it when they do that, because you feel like Bob fits better with the Thunderbolts, than he does with Valentina. You know what I mean? the way they handled his powers with him, flying straight up into the sky, like almost to space and then back and falling back and all that was good.
Yeah, that was very good.
Well done. And of course, David Harbour, coming into the film, at that point, having more of an impact in the movie once he actually gets with the rest of the Thunderbolts, he's great. I have no qualms with him at all.
No,
he's always fun and funny and good, to watch. I would like to have seen them do more with him action wise later on in the film. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like they made him a little bit weak. I felt like they made him weaker than he actually is a little bit. I felt like he should be stronger than he ends up being. But he's a good element to the film and adds to the whole team element of it. And then the stuff with Bucky's good. I don't know where they were trying to go with the whole relationship with the secretary. With Bucky. Yeah. Like they wanted that to be like a dating sexual thing kind of or whatever. And
no,
I don't know. It doesn't really work.
No, she's too young for him. I think it was just more like he wants her to be the good guy, but she's with Valentina, so she wants to be, have more power or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think he's too old for her.
Really? Well, that's true. I mean, she's a little. I don't know what.
How old is Bucky? He's like 40-something years old, right? He's like 40, 41, 42 years old.
Yeah, I mean, Sebastian
38, 39, something like that. He's like, that's how old he is, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be realistic about his age,
you can probably find that out. You can probably find out online what his actual age is in the MCU in the real time. In you probably can look that up and see, but I believe he's like 38, 39, 40, 41. Yeah. And that chick was in her early mid 20s.
Yeah, 29.
So
now. Yeah,
that's doable.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but it's just been fun. Because
and he's a congressman too, so that's he's a high value guy, a man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I mean, he's the Winter Soldier, so I mean,
he's a Winter Soldier and he's a congressman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Think about how badass it would be to be this crazy, dangerous, killer fucking guy. You know what I'm saying? But get pardoned by the government or whatever, and be allowed to roam around and be free and shit. You know what I'm saying? And be 100 years old and shit. You know what I mean? And be hanging out. And become a congressman, right? After you've killed dozens of people.
Yeah, over the decades, be defrost. Yeah, it's
and you're the most violent fucking assassin out there. You know what I'm saying? No demand. The most ruthless assassin that there is.
Yeah, and his arm. You think about it, his arm is this Wakanda technology. So he has the most powerful technology.
His arm was more dangerous and more fun and interesting and shit in the beginning when we first got the Winter Soldier than he is now with the Wakanda arm. They didn't do much with they didn't do much with his arm in the movie at all.
And in this movie,
other than having to get ripped off and put back on and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I mean, at least he has superpowers. I mean, he's enhanced. So I mean, yeah, I agree.
They kind of pussified him a little bit in the movie, I thought.
Well, and same thing with Ghost, I have to say, because I completely I'm with you.
They made Ghost pretty lethal and pretty dangerous as a combatant. I mean, she killed Taskmaster and in that skirmish, bam.
That's true. I'm saying it because I get in the film they know how to disable her powers.
And she held her own hand to hand combat with everybody in that initial fight scene. John Walker. And Yelena, you know what I'm saying? She fought all of them, hand to hand, and went stand 50-50,
Yeah, that's true. No, that's a good point. I guess for me, I agree with we want to. I definitely want more Bucky action scenes. I wish we had more Ghost powers more often.
I don't think they did a good job. I don't think they did a good job of showcasing her abilities.
Okay.
in the movie.
Okay.
You know, between the initial fight scene in that bunker and then like them getting free and fighting out and all that, there's a lot of her doing her thing. You know.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I agree with Bucky. And for me, I also goes with Ghost, and same thing with Red Guardian. I do agree with you with Red Guardian. We like, I don't think he was like deep powered. I just feel like we didn't have enough action scene for him to do.
They didn't give him enough moments, you know, like doing something fighting wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
That were like cool or like, you know, strong, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in like Black Widow, they have that scene where he squares off with Taskmaster and gets it all into his fight stance and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit is dope. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like that was dope when they did that movie in Black Widow. I was like, hell yeah, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and he broke a guy in the prison's hand. Remember that when he's like, oh,
yeah, he's dangerous.
Yeah, he is dangerous. He's very powerful.
He's got super soldier serum and he's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? He's like a criminal. He's like an anti-hero that, like, you know, doesn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, you know.
He loves his country.
Yeah. And he has like a Russian mobster vibe to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Like,
you know, so he's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, look, you know me, Andres. I always wish that things could be darker and like more Andor, you know, style. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, gritty. You know what I'm saying? You know, and like, you know, more adult and like rated R. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, every show, I'm like, I wish they would go farther with like, you know, the adult, you know, elements of like of the show that we're covering, you know, or like the movie or whatever, you know. Like for me, they can always do more of that. You know what I'm saying? So with the Thunderbolts, like, I don't want to get too far off of like a, you know, off of a side, you know, track here, but with the Thunderbolts, you know, it's an opportunity to go with more of a Dark Avengers, you know, TVMA, like, you know, direction, you know, with the team. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, I would have loved to have seen, you know, more of that in the film, you know. Obviously, I know they have to make the, you know, a movie that's designed for, you know, for kids and adults and all that kind of stuff, you know, a typical Marvel film. But I do hope that when we get to Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and all that kind of stuff, and we see the Thunderbolts / Avengers or whatever, you know, in the movies, that they show them being very graphic and dark, you know, in their scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in contrast to the other Phase 4 and Phase 5 Avengers characters, you know?
Yeah.
They should be more violent, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like darker, you know, as characters.
No, I kind of agree. I mean, I think this movie was definitely more mature than some of the other projects. It was definitely towing.
Oh yeah, it's
where
it is mature. It has some very mature, you know, elements to the story of the film. You know, when it comes to like, you know, suicide and depression, you know, mental health, you know, darkness. You know what I'm saying? You know, the void. You know, representing like, you know, like some kind of representation of like, you know, like a mental health crisis kind of deal, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, no, there's a lot of like dark material and subject matter in Thunderbolts, you know? You know, I mean, again, showing Taskmaster get shot in the head was very violent, you know? You know, very like very Daredevil Netflix, you know? For Marvel to do that in the Thunderbolts, you know, that surprised me. They did that. I was shocked. I was like, "Wow, really, Marvel? Okay,
yeah,
like
and,
shit, you know."
Yeah, and I know they brought back the people from the Void. It was kind of cool how they literally like the Void did kill people when they were sucked into his world, so it was pretty dark.
Oh, I didn't know people. I thought they all came back. I didn't know that some of them died. I don't know. I couldn't tell. They didn't show like it wasn't shown like that.
Yeah, no. Like they didn't die, but like it was like you didn't know like they were like sucked into his world. Like I didn't know like I didn't understand at first like, oh, he just sucked into his like in his world where I thought this, you know.
You're jumping ahead, so I don't want to. You know, I mean, you know,
you know,
like, that shit's all cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they did it well. You know, like it looks good.
Yeah, it was good. But still, pretty dark, dark stuff.
Yeah, I mean, showing Bucky capture all the other Thunderbolts, on his own and like tie them all up by himself and shit. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense to me. I thought about that after I watched the movie, and I'm like, that makes no sense, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it almost reminds me of the Falcon Winter Soldier when the Dura Milaje showed up in like episode 4 and like fought John Walker, Sam Wilson,
Bucky,
and Bucky, like Dura Milaje versus them 3, and like they got their asses handed to them by the Dura Milaje. Like, I get it, they're Wakandan, they're the Dura Milaje, they're badasses, but like they kick their asses, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, they're trained assassins, dude. They're trained like fighters.
But Bucky has the super soldier serum and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's a trained soldier, like assassin, and so is John Walker, and he has the super soldier serum in that fight too.
Wait, did he? I thought it was like afterwards.
He had it. He got it like episode 3.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But anyway, it's been a while I've seen the show. But
he took it in episode 3. He grabbed that vial or whatever and took it. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, because episode 4. Yeah, because Simo was in that scene, but like he escaped at the time when the Milaje was like following them because they wanted Simo back, to prison, whatever.
I haven't watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier in a long time, so I can't remember exactly what happened in every episode. To be honest with you, now that I try to look back, I can't remember. Is that?
Yeah, I can't remember. Because I only remember that like city they went to.
What was the episode where they had those great scenes with Sharon Carter fighting all those thugs at that like shipwreck yard or whatever? Like, what episode was that?
I think that was
wasn't that when they first got Zemo out of jail or whatever?
Episode 3, yeah. Hold on, let me check because I think
that was episode 3.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it, like episode 3 is the pirate broker. They went to because that's what. Okay, so Simo offers help.
That was a good episode.
That was great because they went to the Mentripor, the criminal section city island. That was a great episode because we get reintroduced to Sharon Carter and all that, and that's where they fought the like people there and the like.
Sharon Carter was great in that episode.
Oh, she was great. I was very happy to see her again. I thought she was better than that. I didn't like the twist that she was the pirate broker, but like she was really fun.
I don't think anybody. I don't think anyone liked that.
No, it was just like really off. Episode 4. Yeah. Episode 4 is where the Milaje fought Bucky, Sam, and Walker in the like hotel or safe house.
Oh, I was right. Yeah. Episode 4.
Yeah. So, episode 4 because 5 I know like Wilson and Barnes took the shield from Walker, and then that's the one where like Sam was training for the shield and all that. Yeah. Okay, we're way on track now.
So overall, that's my one critique is that it makes no sense that Bucky would be able to that easily and that quickly tie up and subdue all those characters. Bucky's is a very powerful guy, like street level character. But David Harbour's character, Red Guardian, has super soldier serum too, and so does John Walker. So like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Ghost is badass. With her phasing and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like they would have to give it up completely, 100%. And like allowed him to tie them up or whatever. Because in a fight that would not just happen that easily.
No, I agree. Yeah, I feel like there was because that scene because we saw a couple of scenes from the trailers that was not in that scene. Like we didn't see Dave Harper laughing when he said, "Oh, I love that guy." They didn't like had that scene at all from the trailer. As per the usual for Marvel stuff, the trailers are different from the movie we see. It was weird. Like he did capture it. I mean, I get that the explosion was big enough for them to crash, but like, I mean, come on, like. How did he carry all those 4 people into that gas station. And how far was that gas station? Like that's the thing. It was. I feel like there was a scene missing. I agree with you, Jeff. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh wait, how you get? And then like you didn't explain. They didn't explain the
I mean, these are like dangerous, like
people.
somewhat illegal criminal, level, like
Yeah.
like secret agent type, mercenary types. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're not the types that are just gonna like they're just gonna give up and like not fight back. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And like unless
Yeah.
somebody tie them up. You know what I mean? Like so it just, to me it makes no sense that works
No.
out that way.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you though, the only last thing I have to say is that the whole thing with Red Guardian is that his shtick, if you do it right with like the right amount of screen time and all that, it works. But you could go too far with that. His character, the way that with the humor and his shtick and all that,
Yeah.
there's a line you got to watch out for with that type of like character, that type of like energy and like humor,
Yeah, I agree. I think this movie handled Red Guardian way better than Black Widow. I have to say because I like Black Widow as a movie. I love Red Guardian in that movie, but I feel like there was times where they were making him the butt of the joke. Here in Thunderbolts, I appreciate that he was the source of humor in the film, but he had an emotional like drama with our characters, particularly Elena, because he is the father for Elena, and I felt like there was a balance. You were saying for Jeff, I felt this was a much better use of the character. Despite we brought it before, but probably wanted more action with Red Guardian. I thought this was a perfect balance for Red Guardian because I like Black Widow, but I feel like sometimes that movie didn't use Red Guardian as well. They should have done. So I'm right there with you, sir. I think this movie did balance the Red Guardian stuff because he was when he came. I don't know if the year laughed so hard when he came up to save them from the desert when he was like in the limo and he's like, Alea, don't go to the facility. It's a trap. It's so funny. I laughed so hard like in my life. That was so funny when he came up from the limo and like Alea was so embarrassed as a daughter. That was funny. And then him talking to Bucky was very funny, just comparing like what super follower you got, that was really conversation. Let's get back to the recap pretty quick here. So after that, because he was it Bucky got like the call right from the secretary that's like with Valentia. She tells her what happened and Bob is with them and all that. So after learning that right, Bourne they join together as a team, right? They head to New York very quickly. That's another thing that's weird. Like you brought up like this scene is weird. It's weird they're from this location and they're going to New York. It's like what state they're in. Like I know what state they're like in, but I right now I cannot think where they're at. But like okay, so they conveniently are in New York to infiltrate the watchtowers. So Thunderbolts discovered that Valentine has convinced Bob to join her side as the new superhero, right? She plans to market as a replacement for the Avengers called Sentry. After easily overpowering the team, which he did, forcing them to retreat, and Sentry develops a godlike delusion of superiority. So he kind of just thinks, I'm the god, why I'm listening to you. So he kind of basically turns against Valentina. However, her assistant, Mel, that's her name, impacting him with the fail-safe kill switch they hadn't planned if he went rogue. But this triggers the emergence of the Void and Bob's destructive ultra eater and embodiment of his depression and / insecurities that create as a result of the procedure and his already fractured psyche that he has developed over the years of abuse from his dad, which we'll see later on. And he begins golfing New York City in supernatural darkness, trapping its citizens in pocket dimensions based on their worst memories. Let me stop there before we get into the the mind craze they go into Bob's body. We just thought about this half section of the superheroes meeting up Bob in the watchtower. I thought that was a really great scene. Valentina's. I thought Valentina was better in this movie. I thought her humor was better. I mean, I love Julia Dreyfus from Seinfeld, so she's always funny. And I don't know, you've seen Beep, but I heard she's great there too. Yeah,
I guess I watched just a little bit of Veep here and there, like when it came out, and it really wasn't my thing.
Yeah. I mean, I like the career that did it because he did the British show called The Thick of It and In the Loop, that very vulgar show from Pierre Capaldi, the 12th Doctor.
The stuff from what I saw when I watched it, it wasn't that funny, and like the secondary characters and like cast or whatever wasn't all that great, So like I never got into it, I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I think she's absolutely wonderful in Seinfeld,
Yeah, she's
she's like like an OG, like Hall of Fame, actress, for doing Seinfeld the way she did, she really brought a lot to Seinfeld, with her character at LA, what I'm saying? She was probably one of the most funniest characters on Seinfeld at times, depending on the episode,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and how much, what they did with her, she was funny. Lot of range, and talent with her. A very, very capable actress. Yeah, I mean, it's the film really shifts into a different direction, different energy, amongst the Thunderbolts, team, once we launch into sort of the the part of the film where they go to Stark Tower or whatever, and all that shit, and confront, Bob and, Vanessa or whatever her name is, what I'm saying, it's very watchable. The action scenes where they take on Century, the build up to that point where you see, Bob, sort of becoming Century, right? With, what's her name? Vanessa Allegra DeFontaine or whatever, whatever her name is. That part I could have had or not had, what I'm saying? Like, the way they handled that. Nothing against her, I thought she was good in the film, but like some of those scenes just whatever to me. The way that they kind of, that part for him as a character kind of was murky. It was inevitable that he would fight the Thunderbolts, so
yeah.
It was that was inevitable, we knew that they lose, the fight, and they did lose, he is, just, a lot stronger and like, more power, has more powers, bigger power set than they do. I thought they did a good job showing his superior abilities, versus the Thunderbolts, what I'm saying? The dialogue and the banter between the different members of the Thunderbolts, the different characters, even in the fight scenes against the Guardian, against Bob, right? Sentry, are still good. They're still tight, they're still funny at times, they're still, catchy, the dialogue is. So
yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say about this section.
Yeah, I mean, this section is pretty much the merging of the plot, really. Like, like we know everything was going to happen. Like he was going to be with Sentry. We see him dressed up as Sentry, and seeing the team forming as usual. And they fight the bad guys, and them getting defeated by Sentry made a lot of sense. And then of course the Void coming out the way he did, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. This section is kind of like very typical superhero like affair, like we see so many times. in other superhero films. The building up and like them merging all that. So
Well,
yeah,
I didn't want to say much about the Void until we got to the end.
yeah. There's a lot more to say about the Void, like towards that. Yeah, because I mean, here it's like the Void is it's like just suddenly like it is like rising at like after he gets.
I thought the whole the Void taking over Bob, that whole deal, that shift, of his character was handled just kind of so,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it was weird. Like you think out of all the things, the fail-safe kill switch that they had in his body will be the thing that get the Void out. Like I don't know. Yeah, that was another thing that you were saying before. Like another nitpick for me was like how they got him out was so quick. But hey, we're already in the third act, so but yeah, let's get into the third act so we can talk about the Void because that was like
they could have done a better job showing showing more and like explaining it better. The whole Void taking over him.
yeah,
like that deal. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the way they handled it was a little bit
rush. Yeah, it was kind of rush, and like you didn't know at times it was like the Void or it was just him like gaining his powers, right? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was weird. So like, yeah, let's get into it. Like realizing the only way to stop the Void. So like first, the team actually starts to become a team after the Void starts to suck up the citizens in his pocket dimension, and like you see them like be embraced by the citizens. Of course, Val sees this, and so she comes up like an idea later on, which we'll get into in the finale. And so like everyone's happy to save. We see a bit of them using their powers, and then Red Guardian saves a chick, a child. Excuse me, and she gets sucked into the pocket dimension, and then this is where like Alea enters the darkness to reach Bob's consciousness. And at first, the team thought that she died, but John kind of feels like no, I kind of know something happened to me as well, and like they kind of believe in him. So and saying while this happens, right, we get really cool, like very like I don't know you heard about this, like the whole team of the Thunderbolts were saying this is like an indie film, a A24 film, like they were really hyping up like the whole indie style, and I kind of get what they're trying to say here. Particularly this voice sequence felt like almost like Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind when we were like going into Joel's mind of like erasing his memories. It was kind of like that here, but the inverse of that, where we were like really getting into the characters' traumas and their like haunted past. So here, speaking of Eternal Sunshine, like here we get into like Elena's Spotless Mind, where she faces her haunted past as the Black Widow, where we get her see like apparently she tricked a friend she was with, and she gets killed by one of the agents. We see briefly like she was able to speed up like assemble the gun, and she had to like stand and see the girls getting ripped by their hands by the instructor, very like instructor teacher, very dark. I have to say that was like pretty messed up, but that's typical Black Widow stuff. Red Room. And then after that, I think then she sees herself in the bathroom where she explained that she always comes back and drinks after she completes a mission. She sees herself and she wakes up, or her other self wakes up and pulls I don't know, like a vodka bottle or whatever, like the alcohol drink into her mouth, and then she was able to escape. There she finds like Bob hiding in the recreation of his childhood bedroom, where her here we see like his father and mother apparently abused him. Well, technically his father abused him, but whatever. And then after that, the other Thunderbolts joined them, and they joined together to travel back to the memory of Bob's initial experiment in Malaysia. That was the beginning of the movie, and you didn't pay, if you didn't pay attention to this, it was foreshadowed because the shadows of the two scientists that he like sucked up into the void were still there in the lab. Well, unfortunately dead because of the explosion that Leon did. So that was messed up. But anyway, So where he volunteered for the procedure, right, and like hoping to improve himself after becoming aimless as a drug addict, what you see here, and the Thunderbolts confront the Void, but are swiftly overpowered as usual because the Void is powerful, and as they struggles, threatens to fully consume Bob. The team intervenes in firming their belief in him, and they, how do you say, solitary empowers Bob to regain culture, overcoming the Void as the light and normality return to the city. And so the Void is gone, and everything that's rainbows and butterflies and all that. So let me stop there before we kind of wrap up the the ending, the post credit scenes that we got for this movie. We talked about the Void here, sir. I liked it up to the point like I kind of like I kind of know what you were saying. Like you didn't like. I played the hug they were trying to that stopped the Void to consume bomb. But I like this ending. I thought this part was good.
Well, there's nothing that happens at the end or mid credits or anything like that or whatever that's worth like a whole conversation. To be honest with you,
I mean it's just teasing Fantastic Four. That's going to be the next scene.
Yeah, so. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like and then there's a scene where they show the Wheaties box with the Thunderbolts on it. As the new Avengers. And I still honestly. I still don't know that I get why they had to make them the new Avengers like that. I don't know why they did that, I don't know how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a weird move that they made. It's almost like they were just like, fuck it, like we haven't made an Avengers movie in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have one coming out for another 2 years. Fuck it. We'll just make the Thunderbolts the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it felt,
Yeah. I don't know if they were trying to do the Dark Avengers this way.
Until we see them again and they do another movie or they do the Avengers or whatever, we're not gonna really see and understand, them as the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Because they become the Avengers and the movie ends. We get that one end credit scene with them seeing the Fantastic Four ship. Where they're kind of the Avengers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. It was well. Yeah. I agree. It was kind of like, I mean, everyone was questioning about the asterisk after the Thunderbolts. It was like, why you add the asterisk? And then it kind of explains itself when you saw the film. It's like, oh, because they're called the New Avengers, which is a thing from the comic books. Like there was a team called the New Avengers. The Michael Bendis run in around 2005. Like that was a big deal. Like that was like during the events of Civil War and Secret Invasion and all that, but yada. So I get what they were trying to do here, but it's weird why you want to hide it on like this like obscure team, like I don't know. I get that we're gonna have multiple teams in the Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like we know we're gonna get Fantastic Four, X-Men. Sam's version of the Avengers, like he's gonna have Thor and Captain Marvel, whatever, who's in his side, and then here we got the other side of the Avengers that is more government, employed, because of Valentina. So I get what they're trying to do. Like I understand what they're trying to do here. I don't get why they like are trying to hide the name. And like I understand these characters are going to be the other side of the Avengers, But anyway,
somebody had to be the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Like They, since Marvel Studios decided to like leave us with all these years in a row, and like two whole phases, without an Avengers movie. You know what I'm saying? Or even a team. And then all these shows, movies, they didn't even show us a team together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's good to see them actually do something, make it, and give up, make an Avengers team of some kind. You know what I mean? So I from that perspective, I see it as a positive. It's a start, for the next Avengers team. I don't know. I expected something different when it came to like who the core Avengers would be of like the next Avengers team. There's other characters that I felt like should be in that core, So, I mean, this Thunderbolts / Avengers team, which I guess, can you even call them the Thunderbolts anymore at this point?
No.
They're the new Avengers now, so you can't call them Thunderbolts anymore, which is kind of stupid, Like, now you can't even use the Thunderbolts with them anymore, You can't make another Thunderbolts movie,
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Yeah, I never seen this before. This is so weird. It's like the suicide, like actually you have the Suicide Squad where the new Justice League, and it's like, oh, okay, there's a villain. Like I don't know that it's just so weird.
Well, the way that they do the Suicide Squad is different and more free. When it comes because of course because every time that they like put together a team, at the end of the mission they start from scratch and they pick another team.
Yeah, that's true.
And everybody goes back to prison. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all that happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that's true. I don't know what other team that compares to this, but like I never see a team like I mean the Suicide Squad is very different, but
like now they're together. Now they're together as the Avengers. Ghost, John Walker, Yelda. You know what I'm saying? Like based off of that end credit scene or whatever. They're in like a government building, like with special, with high end equipment and stuff,
Yeah, they're in the Watchtower. That's the Watchtower. They took over the Watchtower, so like that's
the Avengers building. Yeah, okay,
yeah, the Avengers building. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, that's the Avengers Tower formerly. Now they literally
it was cool that for Vanessa to save her ass at the last minute, by making them the Avengers, you know what I'm saying? That was cool. That was good. I like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was well done. The final battle against the Void was weird. It was not my favorite. They could have done something different with it for me. I don't think it was the strength of the film at all. The ending there. I mean, I know where they were going with it. They wanted to go like an emotional, mental health, like depression, domestic violence, you know what I'm saying? Like, abuse, angle, like with it. But watching them like all go in the void and then fight the void or whatever, from seed to seed or whatever they were doing was kind of dumb. I kind of fell off with the movie a little bit there at the end, in the theater.
No,
but
yeah,
but it was still, the ending was still good. Seeing them all get back from the void together, they're all happy, and all that. They've come together as a team, they all supported each other, in the final battle. You know what I mean? Like it was cool, we all love that the team vibes, those Avengers vibes. So, yeah, man, it's a good ending. Overall, it's a solid film.
Yeah.
And as far as the end credit scene goes, that's cool. I mean, how the mid credits and credit scenes are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be like long enough or substantial enough to be worth having a conversation about. They're just really quick, scenes, that take us over from this movie to the next one,
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's a big deal because these were good post-credit scenes because unfortunately Phase 4 and 5 have really awful post-credit scenes that just doesn't lead nowhere. Like I don't want to go through it, but like they always had these famous actors, and then they were in these famously Harry Styles was in Eternals, and like he was like Fox, whatever, and then obviously Doctor Strange 2, you got Charlize Theron as Clea. So I was happy that we got post-credit scenes that made sense, and plus they actually lead to the next film that is coming out, that AKA First Steps, whatever. So I understand it. They're very quick scenes, but I was happy that these scenes made sense and that they're actually going to be paid off like right away, not like 4 or 5 years. Like it took 4 years or 3 years since like Eternals to pay off the stupid island, like that big internal thing from the ocean for Testament Ford addressing, all that crap, so yeah, so I thought these post-credit scenes were better, and like at least I can see they're turning around Marvel Studios, because like Marvel Studios is trying to turn around their like output. They're making less stuff, which is good, and then trying to make quality films, which is good. And I'm happy to say that this movie was a quality film. It wasn't this quantity thing, like where like they were trying to attempt to make a film, which is good. Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. This third act was okay. I agree. I wasn't really fussed about like them going through the what you say for the other voids, and it could have done better, but we got this is the ending we got, and I'm fine with it, and it was good. So yeah, so I gotta say I highly recommend it. It's a great film. It's better than a lot of the crap we got, folks. It's better than She-Hulk, better than, oh my god, Love and Thunder. I have to say, like, this was a way better film than that, and it was better than Captain America 4, I have to say, which is good to say. But yeah, so any more thoughts to say, sir, before we do the reaction to other trailers?
No, sir. I mean, I'll give the movie like an 8 out of 10. Rating. But that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah. God damn it. I'm trying to think what I rate this movie. I think I say 8.5 out of 10 in my initial review. You can check my review on my Instagram if you guys want, because I did rate this probably a high 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, it was really good. It was I was surprised this movie did well, and that's good, because so far we've been so mixed with the stuff with the MCU. So now we got only Fantastic Four, which is great. I'm very excited for that in July. That's going to be our next thing to review in terms of the MCU stuff. Well, I mean, unfortunately, let's get into our trailer reactions. I got like a couple here. I got actually we got a new trailer for the It show. Welcome to Derry. That's the new It radio show. Everyone knows the It franchise is the Stephen King book where that's where Pennywise the clown, the crazy alien creature, kills the kids in Derry, and obviously we had new movies of the It films. Obviously, if you grew up in the 90s, there was a miniseries on that Pennywise was played by Tim Curry. Bill Skarsgård plays the new Pennywise. He's coming back for this new TV show. Looks really good. Before we get to that, unfortunately, me, Jeff, and pretty much the MCU Bleeding Edge are gonna probably review this show, aka Ironheart, Disney Plus show. I have the trailer here. We'll do it quick, painless, and get it over with. And let's do it now. Oh boy, god damn it! They can write this off, just like Warner Brothers.
Hello? For real?
Welcome, Riri. In less than 3 minutes, the air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what is this?
Your interview. You'll suffocate and die unless you break into the device on the floor, where you'll find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. So you in or out? Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable. Something
important.
Iconic.
It's a brand new
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision. But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew. I could chew a lot.
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that. This is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
All right, that's Ironheart. Okay, let's get the heat out. Yeah, that was it. Okay, trailer. Jeff, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, they didn't show much there. There's not a lot there in that trailer,
Yeah,
it's very self-contained, and very much featuring Riri, Williams, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not a massive fan of her as a character, personally, I never wanted Ironheart in the MCU as a fan, So I guess that's the Hood or whatever. That guy in the trailers, the Hood. I mean, hopefully they do different stuff and more with him, like with his character, because what they showed of him in the trailer was kind of boring, like kind of meek. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's supposed to have superpowers and stuff, like demonic powers from like Mephisto and shit, So like, I want to see that element of the show. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully that's not going to be just. Hopefully that's going to be like across the whole show. Not just one episode or something. You know what I mean? So hey, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to Ironheart open-minded, and like, if it ends up being okay, like, hey, you know what? Okay, I'll recognize it and I'll acknowledge it, and I'll be like, okay, this is okay, But if it's not, I'm going to say that it's not. And like, it's cool that we're going to see Mephisto and stuff like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
That's good for the MCU. But I just don't know what to think about the show yet. And that trailer does not do anything for me, or like change anything for me, or like
No, I agree. I was about to say. I mean, the trailer didn't really show much. I mean, you thought
the way that they show her armor as like a character, I don't like. It's like cartoonish looking.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's the face of the helmet is kind of weird. I don't know. I actually, just speaking of the armor, I gotta say the armor looks. I mean, like not good, but like it looks way better than what she got for Wakanda Forever. I have to say. Like,
oh yeah, no, her armor Wakanda Forever was bad. It was terrible.
Yeah, I gotta say, this was a far superior and improvement from what we got from Wakanda Forever. And I want to be excited for the Hood because, like, I'm with you, Jeff. I really want to see the Mephisto character be here. Like, still, Sacha Baron Cohen is still in the list of the cast. So, I mean, hopefully that works out and whatever. But we'll see. Well, we have so some updates here with the show. Let me kind of go. It's going to be released in June. It's going to be the last show for the conclusion of Phase 5. I said before, Thunderbolts was the last film of Phase 5. So our last show for Phase 5 is going to be Ironheart. So that's going to be premiering in June 24th. Apparently, they're going to release the first 3 episodes on that day. Okay. So, and then it's going to be a 6 episode series. So, okay, that's good. That's not going to be too long. But yeah, that's all I had to say right there. So hopefully, I'm hoping for the show to be good. I am going to have open-minded, as you were saying before, for the show. Hopefully, the first 3 episodes looks good, and et cetera, et cetera. So, all right. Let's kind of wrap up here. Let me show you the It trailer. Welcome to Derry. Have you seen the new It films? By the way, I'm kind of curious. No,
no, I've seen scenes up from them, but I've never watched them in entirety.
Okay. I know I think both are in Max. You can probably see them. I like the first chapter. Chapter 1 is great horror film That's with the kids. It's really awesome. I saw it in theaters in 2017. It was a blast. It was one of the best. Was it the best horror movie of 2017? Oh no, Get Out was in 2017. So it was second after Get Out as the best horror movie. But it was a great adaptation to the Stephen King book. If you're a big Stephen King fan, it was a good adaptation and definitely improvement from the miniseries. The chapter 2 that where
I read the book. I read the book, sir. I did back in the day. I read the original It book.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
I saw that really B kind of movie that they made, in the 80s or whatever, before I saw that, I read the book.
Yeah, the miniseries. Yeah, it was B level, I gotta say. But anyway, it has a charm. Great. I mean, it's a very famous Stephen King novel. Did very well. So and then chapter 2 came out in 2019, so it was like after it was before pandemic.
Back in the day, they couldn't get A-list actors and stuff like that to be in Stephen King movies. It didn't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. Well, if the director was famous, like Stanley Kubrick did The Shining, yeah, you will get famous actors. But if not, then yeah, of course you're not gonna get the top talent actors in the Stephen King novels. I understand where you're coming from.
The Shining is an aberration. The Shining is in its own category. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, what about Carrie?
It stands out on its own. As like a Stephen King, film. Off of Stephen King book. It's like your typical Stephen King movies like Pet Sematary, The Shining, movie in the 80s. They were not cast with well-known actors or whatever,
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, that is it.
By the time they did Pet Sematary, they were only able to get moderately known actors to be in that movie,
Yeah. The guy who runs the Pet Sematary was that was Herman Monster. I don't even know that. That's Herman Monster, who's in the TV show The Monster.
Yeah, Judd Nelson or whatever. Yeah.
Judd Nelson. Yes. If everyone knows, that's who he is, and he's the Dutch from My Cousin Vinny and all that. Great actor. Sadly, he passed like early 90s or something like that. So I like the It films. Chapter 2 was okay. It was the weakest because of the adults. It was a long horror movie, which is weird. And and when I heard that, as obvious, the HBO was going to develop like a spin-off from the franchise of It, I was like, okay. And it's the same creative people that did the movie, so that's good. So let me show it to you now. I
had no idea that HBO was doing a It show. I didn't know.
Yeah, this is Max. You will see towards the end of the trailer, they'll show you the Max. By the way, they rebrand the name Max to now back again HBO Max. So I just want to let you know that because.
Okay. I heard about that.
Yeah. Apparently,
didn't they change the logo too?
I think so. Right. We'll see in the trailer. I think this is before they did that. Right. I don't know. So anyway, the Warner Brothers went back and put it HBO Max for some reason. Anyway, all right, let me show you the trailer.
You poor thing. Get in before you catch your death of cold.
Now you just tell us where home is. We'll get you back to your parents safe and sound, okay?
Anywhere but Derry.
Things that happened in the past.
My family and I just moved to town.
Dad! Oh.
Hey, baby.
Happened in your mind.
Today was 4 months. And they never even found a body. That means murder.
This business with the missing kids. Do I need to be concerned? Never a bad idea to keep the people you love close.
No adult's ever gonna believe what we saw. I wouldn't.
There's a history of stuff like this happening in Derry.
You kids keep your noses out of police business.
I heard voices. In the pipes.
Have you ever heard of something like that? There's something bad here in Derry.
Okay. Yes, they changed back the HBO Max. I don't think they changed the logo. I think it's the same, but whatever. Yeah, that's the trailer. What do you thought about it? I love it. It was pretty good. You can say better than the Ironheart one.
I mean, I guess it's okay. Looking, I like the concept of I guess of what they're trying to do with this TV series. I like the concept of doing a horror, TV show. That's a fun concept. But what I saw in that trailer did not do anything for me, really. To where I'm like, oh man, like we got to cover that show. Nah, I don't think so. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
There could be another, I'm sure there'll be another trailer, or whatever, for the show, I don't know when it comes out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This came out that last week or this week.
The kid-centric stuff, only works once in a while, like in Stranger Things and stuff like that. Once in a while it'll work. You know what I mean? Stranger Things. The first season of Stranger Things is great. I never watched past that season, but that season of Stranger Things was great with those kids. But I don't like kid-centric shows or movies. I don't like that kind of deal. Personally, that's why I didn't want to watch or cover Skeleton Crew.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's not my thing. It's not my genre at all. When you have the kid orientated type content or type shows. But obviously this is going to be an HBO R-rated type TV show with kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be very adult type of TV series. So it could be really good. I don't know yet. I would have liked to have seen more monster horror stuff in the trailer,
Yeah, no, we just saw briefly him towards the end. I was kind of surprised they didn't show too much of him. I kind of understand why. I'm very excited for it. At least it's HBO. That's a good thing. I agree. These child. Yeah, I'm in the same page of you. The same.
It's HBO, so it's not like Netflix. It's HBO, so it'll probably be very watchable.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I was gonna ask you if you. The fact this is HBO, you're willing to maybe cover it if we don't have anything in the schedule.
If we have nothing else to cover, then of course it'd be a great option. You know what I'm saying? For 2 months or whatever.
Yeah, 2 months.
That's one thing about HBO Max and HBO is they do everything episodically. You know what I mean? I think one time, years ago, they dropped the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us in one night, but that's the only time I ever remember it happening ever with HBO. HBO Max, they did that. So, we'll have to see. You know what I'm saying? Where we're at then, and I need to know when it comes out.
Let me check that out because it's a fall, so it has to be around the. Here we go. Fall is gonna release this year late. I don't think they haven't yet specified the date, so it has to be in the fall or October season, something like that. So I'll keep that.
I saw that YouTuber Emergency Awesome or whatever released a video today covering the Fallout season 2 trailer, but then I went on YouTube and it's not out yet. The Fallout the official season 2 Amazon trailer is not out yet, but that YouTuber covered it today, so that means it's coming out soon. Oh
yeah, so I can pull that up. That it it's weird.
If Fallout season 2 is releasing a trailer soon, that means that the second season is going to come out this year.
Yes, it is. It's set to premiere December this year, 2025. So, and they already renewed the show for a third season. So that's cool. So, yeah. So that's because I totally forgot about that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
Amazon needs original TV shows that are good. You know.
Yeah. Let me get the teaser right now because yeah, it was weird how they got the teaser. From it was someone taped it in like this, you know, those like weird like social things like Veal or something like that Zack Snyder uses or something like that, and that's how they confirmed the season 2 stuff like that. So I'm converting it right now, and we can watch it very quickly.
I already saw the feeds of the trailer in that video.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the Fallout trailer. Yeah, so we know confirmed that second season is gonna premiere December 25th. That's good. Same episodes, you know, like 8. Yeah, I'm very excited for that one. That's gonna be my anticipated TV show to watch. That and Wednesday season 2. But yeah, so that's the thing. So yeah. So I'm very excited for this.
I'm glad that there is a show like this show that's out there like in the fall, you know, as an option, you know, as something to cover, you know. So I'm glad that you brought that to my attention.
Yeah, because it's a Stephen King thing. It's very popular. A lot of people like the new version of the It films, and
we've never covered a horror inspired television show before, you know. That would be an interesting niche or genre to do, you know.
Yeah, and I think this show would be perfect to do that, right? Because I mean, it's good for you, it's good for us to review it, and you know, it's HBO, which is good, high quality, you know, that's good, and it's rated. So I think that would be really nice. Because I don't know about I agree with you. The Netflix stuff is like, like at the first season, it's kind of like
that. Netflix and HBO are totally different.
Different
companies. You know, like totally different brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Netflix does not produce. Netflix, from what I understand, Netflix produces a lot of television shows, a lot, like in mass. You know, but they're not always that good.
No. Well, and then they transport other shows that they fund to like be part.
Yeah, they bring shows over from other networks and they bring them back to life and stuff like that.
It's I know, it's crazy how they do it. Yeah, I love Stranger Things. This season are good. I mean, season 2 is good. 3 is it was okay. But you know, it wasn't that bad.
I've seen on YouTube. I've seen recap videos of the season, so I know what went on, kind of. You know what I mean? Like who the main characters are and all that, the villains and all that. It's very interesting where they've gone with it after season 1. You know, it's very cool, very interesting where they've gone. You know, the whole premise of Stranger Things in the first season is a lot of fun. Very cool. Yeah. You know, just the whole concept of the you know, the other dimension, you know, the world beyond worlds, whatever, you know, upside down, you know.
Yeah.
It's really fun and really cool. You know what's crazy is I can't believe that they're still making The Handmaid's Tale, and Outlander too is still going on. It's still alive. I can't believe Outlander is still doing seasons. Like
I know. It's crazy.
I was watching Outlander like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's wrapping up the show. Like their 8th season is going to be the last one. I don't know when it's going to release. So yeah. And then what was the other show you brought up?
I never completely understood the concept of Outlander. I just started watching it like into the show already. You know what I'm saying? You know, and like tried to get it. You know what I mean? You know, and I'd heard about it. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know, so I watched it, but I didn't really understand what the hell was going on. You know, I think there was like time travel going on or something. I don't know.
Yeah, have you seen The Time Traveler's Wife? It's like that, but differently.
I like The Time Traveler's Wife. That's a good movie.
Yeah, so like it's this time period it doesn't travel a lot.
That one actress from The Notebook is in that movie.
Oh yeah, and Doctor Strange, Richard McAdams, and then Eric Bana was the time traveler.
Yeah,
right?
Eric Bana was good in that movie. Yeah,
great actor. I love him. So I seen season 3 of Outlander. Great season. Season 3 is really good for Outlander.
The other show I mentioned was
what was it? I'm blanking it now. What was it? It was something else I recognized that you were saying. Whatever.
That one show that the chick from Mad Men stars in.
Oh, the Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
you're. Yeah. I mean, it was popular in Hulu, so I mean that's why it got so many seasons. It's wrapping up this year.
I never watched Mad Men. It won a lot of Emmys. They got nominated for a lot of Emmys. Mad Men did.
Yeah, I mean, it was very popular before. Well, it was like after
one of the most highly nominated TV shows ever.
Yeah,
Mad Men was.
Yeah,
it was like an award darling, you know, like a darling of the award, you know, or whatever, you know. Just like shows like The West Wing, you know, was like a massive that all the different actors. I never watched The West Wing, but I do watch the Emmys. I like on YouTube. I like to watch the old shows, and all those different actors and actresses that were on The West Wing all won Emmys for their roles in that show. Over the span of the show, they all won.
Yeah. No. It was a very popular show for the Emmys. It did won a lot, and I mean, it won, I think, big during its final season that they wrap up. But yeah, I mean, it was during the time where Breaking Bad was on simultaneously, so it was a pretty good show. It's been a while. I didn't get into like the Batman show. I heard it's good from my friends. What else? Yeah. So I'm hoping it will be good. I think that'll be a good show to cover. Jeff, thank you for coming today. This was the last talking about Thunderbolts with you, sir.
Most definitely, sir. No problem. Happy to be here.
Yeah. I mean, our next, so just I'm not doing plugs, but like tomorrow we're gonna be back again to do Dead City. Hopefully, it's not boring as Ironheart, but I don't know. Then Wednesday we're back again to do Last of Us, the finale. It's just released this Sunday, so check it out. We're gonna review that to wrap up that series. That's gonna be interesting. And then Friday we're gonna review Andor. I'm coming back for that, so that's gonna be good. How was Andor last Friday? Was it fun? You liked the episode? What?
It was fun. It's Andor. Yeah,
Andor.
Episode 5 was great. It was a 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be the weakest for you, but okay. Yeah, I had a chance
I liked Episode 5 a lot.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I saw it yesterday. I was doing some work and I had a chance to check it up and see what they did. Yeah, it's pretty good so far, the show, Andor. So yeah, thank you everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah,
and
it's high. It's very high level, sir. Andor is, it's getting all the good reviews and all the critical acclaim again, just like the first season. Again, this season, everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, no. It's a good show. I'm very excited to talk about it.
Some people actually think it's the best Star Wars since
the
what's it
Mandalorian?
called?
The Mandalorian?
No, the one original movie.
Oh, Empire Strikes Back?
So one of them, yeah.
Yeah, that's the top tier Star Wars thing, besides Menlo. I know Menlo is a very top tier one. I seen people doing their rankings of the shows after the show's been wrapped, and so far it's been number 1, which is cool. If you've seen those ranking shows. But yeah, all right. Let's get out of here and say goodbye.
All right, goodbye. Peace.